Hey, what's up? I'm Heidi Mitro, body mind coach and founder and owner of the new next level body mind coaching. And ladies, we're going to talk about the word ma'am. Gentlemen, listen. Okay. So I'm in this really beautiful hotel and we're doing our content creation retreat and I feel pretty cute and I'm feeling inspired and I go down for our lunch break and I go to this really beautiful cafe that's like in the hotel lobby and everything is so French and really exquisite and really detailed. And I order this gorgeous lunch and the gentleman who took my order was like, "Will there be anything else, ma'am?" And I was like, "What?" Like I was like, "Oh, that's me." And I was like, "No, I'm good." So I go and I sit down and I'm waiting for my order and this young dude from behind the bar comes over and he's like, "Excuse me, ma'am, have you been helped?" And it's literally like boom, boom, 1-2 punch of ma'am in like the span of 5 minutes. And I am immediately like disoriented. I'm immediately like, oh shit. And I've been called ma'am before, but just not in succession like that. So I'm sitting there and we had just been talking about freedom and we were talking about redefining it. And I sat there and I was watching out the window and I'm watching the rain and I'm waiting for my food and I'm like, okay, what is the practical application of freedom in this moment? Because I tend to get pretty philosophical and it's like this macro version of freedom. And in that moment, I was like, okay, what is the micro definition of freedom? And I got embodied and I came back home and I used a Brene Brown technique, which has been so incredible. And that is, what is the story that I am telling myself about this? And the story that I was telling myself was that if you're called ma'am, it's because you look old. And being old as an American woman means that you are no longer valued, you are disregarded, and eventually people are going to start calling you cute, and then you're going to die, and like no one will respect you ever again. Because our culture celebrates incessant youth, right? Like it is only okay for you to be perky and 20 forever. And so I'm sitting there and all of these unconscious stories are coming forward. And I am like, okay, what is the physiology of freedom in this micro moment that no one else is witnessing, that I am completely by myself? And so the very first thing that I did was detach from the stories that I was telling myself. It was like, okay, I need a little bit of distance so I can look and go, okay, hi, sweetie. Now you can come home. Now I can say, oh, of course, this is why you are thinking this. This is not true for you, but it makes sense that it's unconscious and coming forward so that it can become conscious and come home to heal. And so I'm like self-soothing and I'm going through the physiology of what it means to detach. And from that place of detachment, I also was able to accept that these stories are just suggestions, that these stories are just unconscious ways for me to like let it come home and heal. And that is the essence of living body mind aligned. That is body mind living, is to be aware of your physiology, to come to a place of detachment and acceptance and bring it home. And so I was like, okay, well, really truly in this micro moment, freedom is being at choice. Freedom is being in a space to say, yes, I accept this. I can integrate this. Nope, this isn't actually true for me. And I can accept that and bring it home. It became like this cyclical feeling. But I also recognized that being at choice is one thing. Being independent of the stories that I think people are telling about me and being independent of the negative opinion of myself, that independence is also freedom. So in the span of about 15 minutes, I went from being super irritated and indignant and annoyed and like, oh my God, am I graying? Like, what's like, ma'am, holy shit, to going, I really am free. I have a process of integration. I have a process of being at choice. I have a process in these micro moments to be in alignment with myself and to really create some spaciousness, which is also one of my definitions of freedom, to create some spaciousness where whatever stories come up are okay. Whatever trigger happens is okay. I can come from a place of acceptance and detachment and integration. And in the span of about 15 minutes, I was able to calm my physiology and recognize the stories that I was telling myself, and also understand and come from a place of compassion and come from a place of what is true in this moment, and what does freedom look like right now. And so I'm actually really curious what your definition of freedom is. What's landing for you? Is it being at choice? Is it being independent? Is it being free? Is it spaciousness? Like, I'm super curious. So let's keep this conversation going. Reach out. I'd love to know what your definition of freedom is. And I hope that this issue is giving you like a new paradigm for you to sink into, for you to recognize your own patterns and your own process, and to offer, this redefinition of freedom for your greatest good. So yeah, reach out, man. I want to know what you're thinking. And if you get called ma'am, hopefully you can recover in about 15 minutes. And just for future reference, this, I guess, is for all people. Can we just please refer to women as Ms. And just have that recognition that you don't actually need to know if they're married or not married, or yeah, let's just shift to Ms., shall we? Okay, that's all. Off my soapbox. I'll see you guys later.
This is Body Mind Living with Laura Wick. Thanks for watching.